Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Day's Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it, and I will definitely be making more over time as long as you know that is happening, because it is, and I want to be here and doing more with you all. There will be more exclusively on Patreon and Spotify with the free content, episodes, and videos, so be sure to check them out. But today we are going to talk about SWV's third studio album, Release Some Tension. So, Release Some Tension is the third studio album by SWV. It was released by RCA Records on July 29th, 1997. The album guest appearances by E40, Puff Daddy, Missy Elliott, Timbaland, Foxy Brown, Little C's, Lil' Kim, Snoop Dogg, and Redman. The album was certified gold by the Recording Academy for shipments exceeding 500,000 copies in the U.S. So, yeah, it went gold, and that's good. And within a year of their previous album, okay? The album features hits like Rain, Someone, and Can We. Another single, Lose My Cool, was slated to be released as the album's third single, but due to limited radio play, it was shelved in favor of Rain, which became one of their most notable hits. The second single, Someone, reached number 19 on the Billboard charts and was certified gold by the Recording Academy for sales of 500,000 copies. The girls and others claim that this album was rushed, and recording began while they were still promoting their second album, New Beginning. So, you know, they wanted to take their time with their third album because they already was touring, in the sense of just doing shows and still wanting people to know, like, you know, we chilling and we got more for y'all. And a lot of times we see this in groups, and it's not so much that there isn't love within these women or men, because there's male groups as well, but there's the frustration of contracts, there's the frustration of, you know, wanting to have more creative control in certain areas and with certain things. And I've said this already, when it comes to independent, all that's out the door. You're just being, okay? You're just, oh, well, you have to offer me, you know, okay, because I will do it myself. But yes, critical reception. AllMusic senior editor Stephen Erlewine, I think you say it, found that with their third album, SWV attempt to break away from the slick urban straitjacket and return to their hip-hop roots. In order to achieve their goal, the group hired a head-spinning array of producers and collaborators. Considering all the extra star power, it's not all that surprising that SWV occasionally become overwhelmed by their guests. But that doesn't prevent Release Some Tension from being a solid album, particularly when it's propelled by funky singles. So this is the thing, and I'm not really completely taking that side where it's just like the features weren't a lot or anything like that. They had less features on their previous work, and so it was commended, definitely. And I think that in this particular album, there was a sense of collectively putting those two albums with this album and the extent of what will come next. But they wanted to work on this album a bit more at the time, and they only had so much time. And then, mind you, this was released July 29th, 1997. We're already having a Mariah Carey within 2 months, not even, and then Janet within a few weeks of her. And then we already have Mary J. Blige already about 3-4 months prior to this. So, there's a lot going on. Okay, like 97 was not the year that people were playing, okay? Spice Girls came back by mid-fall, and literally in the month that they came debuting. So it just, there was, you had Backstreet Boys emerging already. You had, and I'm just thinking of artists now, not to get off the topic of the track list because we're getting to that next. But I'm thinking about 97. Just everybody was coming out in 97 and emerging still, if anything. Yeah. We was having Destiny's Child emerging, okay? Like, you know, there was just, Aaliyah was touring, okay? Hot Like Fire was already, you know, hitting, okay? More as far as opposed to even One in a Million just being on the radio. Like, it just, there was just so much going on, okay? But yes, the singles as they were coming out. So Can We, February 11th, 1997. Someone came out June 24th, 1997. Lose My Cool, September 16th, 1997. So when Lose My Cool came out as a single, we already was getting Butterfly with Mariah. So it was just like, wait a minute. Because Honey was a single already in the summertime, I gotta say, probably in, was it July or August? Around, just close to when the album was dropping. So it's just, there was people were coming back. We already had Tony for her second album. Tony came back with Secrets, okay? And, yeah, like, En Vogue was back. I can't breathe. Oh, Don't You Want to Be? Just, oh my God. There was movies. It was all, and they was, you know, this was actually on the soundtrack of this, one of the Can We was on, yeah, like, there was all these different, things going on in 97, guys. But yes, let's look at the track list. So track 1 is Someone featuring Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, however y'all want to align him. Track 2 is Release Some Tension featuring Foxy Brown. Track 3 is Lose My Cool featuring Redman. Track 4 is Love Like This featuring Lil C's. Track 5 is Can We featuring Missy Elliott. Track 6 is Rain. Track 7 is Give It Up featuring Lil Kim. And, oh, and yes, I want to make note on the writers. Kimberly Jones is there, okay? Just want to make sure y'all know that. You know, mother, that is my rap mom. I don't care what y'all say. Track 8, Come and Get Some featuring E40. Track 9 is When You Cry. Track 10 is Lose Myself. And yeah, Missy, yeah, I consider Missy my rap auntie. Track 11, Here For You, and track 12, Getting Funky, featuring Snoop Dogg. So there was 12 tracks. You know, it wasn't as long as her previous albums. And as far as with charting, you know, they did chart at number 24. As far as Billboard 200, top R&B hip hop albums, number 5, and in the UK R&B albums, it was number 3. So you know they had recognition in the UK a bit and overseas. So it's not even so much that it wasn't a great album. I feel as though when this album came out, the fans and everyone was not to say overwhelmed. I feel like they were more or less just like really grooving still with New Beginning and It's About Time. And you know, I think I've said this before, even with release dates, certain peaks of the year, even when it comes to if the album is really selling and, you know, they're needing more shipments, like it really varies. So I never want to pinpoint And I won't pinpoint unless they really say it right here, like, okay, it's really blatant, and you guys are right here with me, reading this with me, where it's just like, okay, no, they didn't really get to do as much or couldn't have been able to. But in this particular situation, with it charting at number 24, at the time there were other albums out, and 97 was very busy. So I'm not going to say that this is in the top 40. That's really good to me. You know, a lot of people feel like, no, they need to be in the top 10. That's what's going to show that they've been doing great. Like, yes, you can chart high, and then all of a sudden, you know, you may be going from number 6 or 7 to 13, and then to 40 all of a sudden. And then it's like, and that's within weeks. And that's only because you never know who surprise drops. You never know who has a date already, and that person or that group had decided to, you know, release something prior and just felt, you know, they wanted to, or this was already scheduled. You just never know. And so being able to have years of different artists and albums to look back at and look at this stuff, you say to yourself, yeah, no, there was a lot to really go against. A lot. Okay? But I thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I truly appreciate it. And yes, from here, with this album, they took some time to reflect on their success as sisters in music, you know, and there's a lot of times in groups that happens. And when they were able to come back together and release another album, it did hit, and we will talk about that. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be back with more.